All right, I am back. This is Corey. Today we're going to do another live coding session. And what I want to work on today is I'm going to try and add a RAG pipeline to Pegasus. So if you've seen some of my other videos, you might know what RAG is, but basically it's when you have a chatbot that can answer questions specifically about your data. So what I'm trying to do today is I'm going to set up some data models to collect data. So be able to essentially upload PDFs maybe to start. Then I'm going to hopefully build a RAG bot on top of that and try and hook everything up to the UI and get everything integrated into Pegasus. And so we'll see how far I get. I'm not necessarily optimistic that I'll get the whole way through it in one session. But let's see how it goes and whether this is interesting. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new directory for my app. So I'm going to do make dir apps, and let's call it RAG. And then I'm going to run the start app command to create a new app there. This template is a custom template that I've created, which creates Pegasus apps in just like a slightly more detailed version than what ships with Django. So you can see here that created this directory here. It's got my migrations, my test folder, admin, apps, models, etc. And now I need to add that to my installed apps. So just kind of stick it somewhere here, apps.rag. And the other thing I want to do is add it to my URLs file. These are going to be team-specific URLs, I think. So let's actually, yeah. So that's fine. So I think we can just do something like this. Okay. So there should be this rag home thing. So let's see if I go to /rag now, what happens. My server running. Restarting. Got an unexpected argument, team slug. That's true. So the default Pegasus, this default startup thing that I'm using doesn't actually specify a Steam slug, so we can add that. And now let's refresh. The streaming really kills my computer, so it takes a little while to do these iterations. I'll try to minimize disruption on the stream. Okay, cool. So first things first, let's start with the data models. And to start with, I'm going to keep things relatively simple, and I'm just going to have a flat collection of resources per team. So each resource is going to correspond to like a PDF file that I've uploaded, and will be part of a particular team in Pegasus. So let's call that a resource. That'll extend base team model, which is the model in Pegasus that just has a few attributes, including a team. And inside this resource, we want to have a documents, which will be a models.file. And let's give it a name, which will be a care field, maybe. Excellent. 100, I don't know. And well, maybe for now that's all we'll include in our resources. We can also create an admin for this. And I'll just kind of borrow this syntax. Resource admin, let's display name team. Created at is one of the things that gets added by that base team model. And then list filter, maybe we'll filter by team and by created at. Okay. I think that should do it. We'll also have to make migrations for our app. It's a little big. Migrate. Okay, so now let's see if we go to the admin, RAG resources. And so just to try this out, I can add a resource here. Maybe we'll put it in the core zoo team. Oh. Let's make a new team for this. Be easier. Teams. I got a lot of development teams. RAG. Okay. Team. I have to refresh this. Get that to show up. RAG. Name. RAG resource 1. Pick a file. Let's see, non-disclosure. Okay, here's what would be a good thing to do. Well, we'll try my Python talk. Why not? Save. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. You can see if we click on that thing, we get this Python talk. It's not going to be a very good demo for RAG because there's not a lot of text in there, but so be it. Very good. So now let's go into the RAG dashboard. Ordinarily, I would kind of build out a UI for managing resources, but that's kind of standard work. I feel like I've done that type of thing on a live stream before, so for now I'm just going to manage resources from the admin. We'll leave that up to the administrators for now. And now we're going to go into the sort of maybe the more interesting bits, which is going to be actually building out this RAG bot. Bug bites. So I know Bug Bites published a video about doing RAG using PG Vector, and I do kind of want to replicate this. I'm not sure how easy it's going to be to drop this into a Django app yet, but essentially my goal is to create a retriever that can work with our local Postgres database and do some RAG. So probably, actually, let's start here. And yeah, we want to install LangChain. So let's do that. We'll do it kind of at the bottom, I guess. Maybe we'll do it by OpenAI. LangChain. Okay. So pip compile requirements. I'm a little wary of that. Never mind. So pip compile will take our requirements.in file and turn it into or update our requirements.txt file. So the requirements.in file has all the sort of core packages you need. You can add versions in here as well if you want. And then in parallel to it is a requirements.txt file, which will have your actual pinned version as well as all the dependencies, and the dependencies are labeled like this. So this is a really nice way to manage your requirements. You can see explicitly the packages that the project has required, which is separate from the total list of packages that get installed. Okay, so this has added LangChain now, and now we can pip install that from the text file. So hopefully this will, see it getting LangChain, and honestly probably a lot of other dependencies as well. LangChain's kind of a fat library. One of the reasons I don't include it with Pegasus out of the box, it's pretty heavyweight. But we are going to use it today. So while this is running, we can figure out how we want to start this RAG business. And we're going to kind of break it up into two steps. So one step is going to be building our vector database, and then the second step is going to be querying it. So to start, let's just make a management command for this. So a management command is like a Django, basically a way of creating command line Django commands. Oh boy, my IDE is struggling. We'll say build index for team. It's pretty self-explanatory. And then this is like a nice this is a nice ChatGPT-ish type of thing. So let's get ChatGPT involved here. I'll do a new chat. I've got this like fancy coding prompt that I have customized. I don't know, I found it on Twitter and then tweaked a little bit. And so we'll say, please write a management command that takes in a team ID string and prints it out. I just want the scaffolding. I'm not going to try to get ChatGPT to write the actual code here. Ding dong, ding dong. Yeah, okay. Good enough. So, and I actually usually do this. I'll actually change it to a slug. Should be more specific. And maybe what we'll do is we'll do team equals team dot object slug equals team slug, and then we'll print the team itself. It was just kind of like a sanity check that this thing works. I'm gonna import that. Okay, so now we can try manage.py build index for team rag. And we'll see if that prints out the right team. It does not. Why? Alright, it's because I didn't need to add that line. Yeah, cool. Good, okay. So, when we're building the index, and for now maybe we'll just assume that everything is a PDF file. But essentially what we're going to want to do is similar to what's happening here. Well, we're going to have to set up PG vector, which might be a little bit of a mission now that I think about it. Okay, well I do already have a PG vector DB running. What is that? Okay, so yeah, so I do have this PG vector thing running. It's running on port 5433. So the first thing maybe I'll do is I'll just create a new database for this, because we are going to have to use a new database here. SQL, Postgres, like that, localhost 5433. Localhost. How do I do it? HP U. Okay. Oh, okay. That was close. Okay. Create database wedding plan rag. Okay. So now in our .env file, we are going to have to change this to 5433 and change this to, let's make a new line here. Plan rag 5433. Okay. Now, let's migrate that because this is going to be a totally clean slate DB now. So we're going to have to recreate the user and the team and the resource. But we will have PG vector. So that's running. I guess we still want to be running our server. Keep that going. Keep that going. And yeah, I mean now this is where I probably should have done some preparation because I don't actually know what I'm going to do here, but this looks pretty straightforward. So let's just kind of start going down this path and see how it goes. DB equals PG vector from documents. Okay. So we'll go into our build index for team function. And I guess maybe to start, maybe we'll just do what they're doing here. So how are they getting the embeddings? Doc vector, documents. How are they getting their documents? Text loader, state of the union. Okay. So probably what we want is a PDF loader of sorts. So let's just say, again, we're just gonna kind of try to hack this together to get the bones in place, and then we'll figure out how to actually set up the structure. But so let's for now assume that the team has a resource. So we'll say resource equals team dot resource set first, maybe. I'll print the resource. I don't know what the difference is between self.std.out.writes. Print works, so I'm going to use prints. Then we're going to have, let's see, something like this. Loader equals, but instead of a text loader, we'll just make it a PDF loader. PDF loader. Okay, let's figure out what LangChain PDF loader. Figure out what LangChain calls that. Pi PDF loader. I'm going to assume that the first result is the best. See if we also need to install Pi PDF, or if we already have that. We don't need encoding. And then here, we probably want to use like resource dot, what do we call that? Resource dot documents dot path, maybe? And then try this. Pages equals loader dot load and splits. Documents equals pages. How do we get the embeddings? Maybe Bugs Bites can tell us. So we can split it up. Well, now we're just kind of getting all these different pieces, but that's okay. PG vector from documents. So I think the embeddings this thing takes is just the OpenAI embeddings, and that'll just kind of handle the magic for us. I think we can pass the pages there. The collection name, maybe we'll say resource.name, maybe with the team.slug, resource name, and connection string. I'm actually not sure how to get that from here, the database, I guess database URL in env. If I can just do something like settings.env.database URL. Let's print that too. Okay. Maybe something like that. Let's see what happens. Oh wait, we didn't make a resource. Let's make a resource first. And a team. Oh boy. Alright. Corey at SaaSpegasus.com. RAG. Agree to the terms. Just have to make myself a super user. On autopilot. Okay, now I can go to the admin and creates one of our documents. Okay. Let's try it. Build index. Okay, we did need that PDF. So I should have anticipated that. Okay, that finished. Now we will pip install it. And let's try again. Settings object has no attribute, and I was wondering about that. Why not? Seems like it should just be right there. But why don't we just say let me just do this something like that. Just to kind of expose that variable. Okay. Settings. What? The idiot. Okay, tick token. This is getting ridiculous. Okay. Pip install tick token. Let's just cheat. We'll also stick it in here, but probably what I should do is I should like record these whole things, and then I should do it a second time when I actually know what I'm doing. That would be a lot easier. Wow. So this actually looks like it's churning away here, which would be pretty cool. Oh, API key. Okay, well, I don't want to live stream that, so I will pause here. I will put my API key in, and I'll be right back. All right, I added the API key, and let's try it again. Oh, come on. No such module error. What else do we need to install? Bugs Bytes. Psycho PG main pip PG vector. Once again, it was very silly. I had to create the extension name vector instead of PG vector. I think the Bugs Bytes tutorial is wrong there. I'll send him an angry note. Okay. That appears to have completed successfully. And now, if we go in here, we can see, hopefully, what is it called? LangChain, PG collection, LangChain, PG embedding. And we can say like, what is this? Select star from LangChain, PG embedding. Anything in here? Let's say select document from LangChain. Yeah. Well, that's cool. This is, this is what was in that file. So that's cool. Great. So eventually, we want this table to be managed by Django. Right now, LangChain just kind of decides how to name it, and it creates the collections and the embeddings for you. Ultimately, we will want to have this sort of partitioned by team, et cetera, et cetera. But for the purposes of continuing the demo, I think there's probably enough to go on. And well, let's see if we can query it. So actually, let's just see. Let's just see, yeah, RAG PyCon slides. So maybe we'll try to do a, we'll try to pass that name into our other management commands. We'll just do query index, query index, and let's see, like builds a PG vector index for the team's knowledge. And queries a team's index by collection ID. Eventually we'll improve this, but for now, collection ID of the collection. And so, yeah, RAG PyCon slides. So, the collection name. So that's what we used elsewhere. And then, let's see, so So we could do the similarity search business. Yeah, okay, so DB as retriever. How do we get a handle to that DB? Okay, well, this is kind of where we want to go though. Okay, so basically let's write the pseudocode. Get the DB LangChain DB object from the collection name. Then we're going to create a retriever. We just create that function. Stick it at the bottom. So let's assume we have that. We get the retriever. We get the documents. I guess we also want a query. I'll pass the query in. It's also string query. Get the documents. And then we do this QA thing. So we don't need that line then. And then we do QA.run query. Delete all this stuff. Now all we need to figure out how to do is, let's do this actually, results. Let's figure out how to get the DB for a collection. LangChain get BG vector DB by collection name. Can't use ChatGPT for some of this LangChain stuff, which is a little bit annoying, but this looks pretty straightforward. Collection name equals collection name, connection string, settings, database row, embedding function, OpenAI embeddings. All right, let's see how we did. Query index. What is RAG? I'll be shocked if this works. You never know. Sometimes you get a one-shot kill. It's running slowly. I don't know if that's a good sign or not. It's probably a good sign. Maybe it means it's going and talking to it. Nope, it just means it was really trying to start running. Whoa! That worked! That's incredible! Oh man. Very cool. Let's see. What are embeddings? But like that totally pulled the answer from, here. These are huge. They used to make. Yeah. Embeddings are a computer's version of meaning. Huh, that's wild stuff. Cool. Well, this feels like a great place to take a break. I will maybe be back with some refinement on top of this sometime soon. But for now, yeah, we've got RAG on the command line working with our Django model. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, let's get into the UI. I think it's time. And so to start, so like what I want to build off is what already ships with Pegasus, which is this like ChatGPT example. Oh boy. Okay, looks like my front end is not cooperating. Just to rebuild my CSS files. I don't know if I should run dev watch or just build it once. Given how unperformant my machine is when I'm doing these streams, I'm inclined to have it run once and then kill it. Okay, well while that is doing whatever it's doing, so we are going to essentially use this chat app, which has this functionality for doing chats with ChatGPT. One question I'm kind of thinking about is whether to modify these views in place or whether to fork them and build a second set of sort of parallel views that do something very similar to these. But I think let's just modify them. Let's take the path of least resistance. I like the path of least resistance. Okay, that thing finished. Kill it. There we go. So what I am referring to in this thing is this OpenAI demos application. And then specifically here in the chat UI, and this needs Celery to be running. We can run Celery, and then we can say, hello, how are you? Very ChatGPT-like response there. Right, so instead of having a generic thing here, we want to have RAG. And so if we say, what was the question we asked? Let's scroll up and find that. Can you tell me about splitters and LangChain? So let's see what generic ChatGPT has to say about that. My knowledge cutoff if predates LangChain. Bummer. Right, so this is not ideal. And what we want to do is we want to essentially just like swap out wherever it's calling OpenAI, and instead of calling OpenAI, we want to call our RAG pipeline. So we'll just go right into the tasks. So this is the part where it's doing that. We have a chat ID. We have a message. Okay, so one thing I think we'll want to do is, I think we want chats to now be associated with the team. So that we can get our RAG bot from there. Because we're doing that, we're going to have to make some migrations. Yeah, so I'm going to provide a default. I'll just say it's 1, I don't know. Let's see if that works. I don't know if it expects the PK there or if it'll crash. Okay, great. Okay. So far so good. So now all our chats will be associated with teams. And so when we get a response here, and maybe I'll just leave this get ChatGPT response function for now. And maybe I will, maybe I'll create a new file. We'll just kind of copy this tasks file into our RAG. Oops, what just happened? Into our RAG app. And instead of saying get ChatGPT response, we'll say get RAG response. And set chat name, we won't worry about. Clean up our imports perhaps. And okay. So now we want to basically do the same thing that's in query index. So, and first we're going to get the team. All right, well, we'll get the chat. Might as well. Add a little select related there. Reduce the number of DB queries. And then basically, now, like, let's refactor this. So, I think here we just want to say results equals query team vector DB team query. Something like that. Team. This is a string. And this essentially just does that. And then this will go into our vector helper, I suppose. Nope. That's okay, there we go. Okay, now we need to do some imports. Okay, so first things first, let's see if this thing still works. I don't think we need that DB name printout. Okay, that's good. Okay. So that's working fine. Now, in our tasks, basically just going to call the same thing with our team and our message. And then, so I don't actually know what type this thing is. What does this return? QA.run. What does QA.run call? Returns any. That's not very helpful. Well, let's. You know what? Let's just use a little debugger. Okay. Do this again. Okay, so the type, it's a string. Oh. Well, that makes things easy. I think we might want it to be something fancier eventually, but for now, it being a string works out totally fine. So I think that's actually all that we're going to have to do to swap this out. And then in our original task, so let's find where we were calling this ChatGPT response. Now I just kind of get RAG response. Oh. Yeah. PyCharm doesn't do well at importing auxiliary tasks. Okay. Maybe that's it. Let's try. Let's see. Celery. Still running celery? Running celery over here. Okay. Let's ask it about slitters in LangChain again. Oop. Fail. Cannot resolve select related to a field. I'm an idiot. Trying to be all clever. Doing my performance optimizations. Messing up the syntax. Boo. Oh, come on. Oh. I guess you do it like this. Yeah. So much thrashing for a stupid, trying to show off that I know how to deal with Django performance and reducing queries, and end up doing more reputational damage than good. Thinking. Thinking is a good sign. Let's see how long it thinks. Thinking a little too long. Oh, nice. It works. All right. That was not so bad. Okay, well, this feels like another good stopping points. I'm gonna have to sit down for a little bit and think about what I want to build next on this little project. So yeah, see you in a bit, or maybe not.